and welcome to FountainFX on Friday the 8th of May 2015. It's been a very, very busy week, especially when it comes to the news and politics and what's been going on, and it shows you, if we look at the charts, just how that can impact price. However, if we actually go back to the fundamentals as well as the technicals, we can see that despite news coming out, often price will still revert to a common price or a common level. So if we see here on the daily chart on the left hand side, we had an area which was a high that was made the previous week and where price fell down from, and if we go across, we can see that on Friday we actually reached that peak. Price hit this high around about the 155.20 sort of level, and then it started to pull back a little bit. So what happened was at the end of the previous week, price sold off heavily on the pound. Why was that? Expectations, uncertainty. The pound had actually been rising quite steadily up until then. So really this is institutions and investors, etc., hedge funds and the like, they're banking their profits. So they're closing their long trades and they're banking profit, turning it to cash, because we're heading into a week of uncertainty. No one's sure whether or not the government's going to remain the same or if it's going to change. So we had a slight increase in improvement, and if we see on Thursday here, we have this big, very much doji stroke spinning top, which shows complete indecision. And because the elections are going on, no one really wants to trade, not really sure about where price is going to go, so let's stay out of the market and let's wait to see what happens on Friday. Well, if we go and look at the 1 hour chart here, we can see that at midnight on Thursday, that's when the opinion pollsters started to release their information, which shows very clearly that the government, the Conservative government, is likely to remain in power. And if we run a trend line up there, we can see that price just pushes all the way up and it reaches this high. Now the thing that actually occurred there is that basically, where's this high? Well, this high at the top here is back at the previous high. So it's following technicals at this point. It's not doing anything different. And during Friday, while all the positive news was coming out and everyone's going, oh, the pound has surged, the pound has surged, what actually happened? The pound actually sold off throughout the day and continued to push down lower. Why is that? Because we've reached an area of resistance in the bigger picture, and price previously fell quite hard from it. So guess what? It's an area where people were going to be taking profit and will potentially be selling off again, and that's exactly what happened all day Friday. So the smart money was selling. Then we also had at 2:30 we had non-farm payrolls, a nice big candlestick here, spinning top showing indecision, uncertainty, and if we look on the 15-minute chart we can see it here, and it actually ran 100 points from top to bottom in 15 minutes. And look how the volatility, it's uncertainty, it's money coming out of the market being taken off, and therefore it causes it to whip up and whip down. So if we now switch over to the Euro US dollar, we can show you the same effect there. So looking at the Euro US dollar, we can see on the daily chart to the left hand side that there was a previous area of consolidation, order flow, price very much finding this area of resistance where price couldn't get any higher, and then it promptly fell and created new lows from there. So when price got back into it this week, which was Wednesday, Thursday, what do you expect? It's resistance. It's a major level of resistance. Expect price to fall from there, and that's very much what it did. If we go down to the 1 hour chart, we can see that it reached these highs here. It went just a little bit above. That's the 113.70 level, and confirmation of which direction it wants to go. If you look at this range as it moved there, was with the break of the range, pushed down below it. We did get a doji there, but price did come back up almost virtually to the pip. And then from there it's then when it sold off. So that was a great trade in terms of taking a counter trade based on this current trend. However, it did give that confirmation. We had a nice surge up into it as well in terms of momentum, and price then came back down. So you could have used this low here as your target and taken some nice profit from that. Now, leading into Friday, obviously, non-farm payroll data, uncertainty, all the rest of it. As we can see here on the 15-minute chart, when it did come out, massive move, over 100 points up and down. And if we go down and look at the 5-minute chart as it shows here, we can see the lows down here at the 111.70 and the highs up here at the 112.90. Why were those levels honoured in terms of the whipping up and down? Well, if you go back over here, we had an area of previous resistance where price broke through, pulled up and then fell from it, so it's showing that area there. Price was pretty much honoured in the same way if we draw that across. Also in terms of the lows, as price came down here, you can see it was an area of support, and it basically bounced between those two, that ceiling and that floor. When the non-farm payroll came out, that was where price decided to bounce between them. You could have placed a trade according to that. Had you done so, you'd have been very happy, because price whipped up, pushed up into resistance and turned, and then fell 100 points, 120 points in a matter of 10 minutes, and then turned at that point and came all the way back up. So support and resistance is very critical. When it comes to trading non-farm payrolls and that kind of stuff, a lot of people say stay out, too much volatility, all the rest of it. However, certainly be aware of your levels, and probably scale down your position sizes, etc. But it is very, very volatile, very risky in trading this kind of news. But other than that, we're seeing that the euro looks like it's starting to pull back. It's still very much in this long trend. It is pulling back down because of this previous area of resistance that was very strong, but for the time being, I would still say it's in a long trend. For those of you that are on our WhatsApp group, we'll be sharing this daily in terms of points out in terms of the pricing and what's market doing. For those of you that are wanting to get into this and understand a bit more, we do have a free and live webinar this evening at 8 o'clock. Log into our website, FountainFX.co.za, and click on the please invite me, and you will be invited into the webinar, and we can go through what to expect in the week ahead. Thank you very much. Have a great week and all the very best. Bye bye.